So, you guys are not going to believe this, but I got a new credit.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Particularly an Alpine coaster. This is going to be a review of the mountain coaster at Wisp Resort in Deep Creek, Maryland. This ride is an Alpine coaster which opened in 2007 and was built by German company Wiegand. This ride is just over 3,000 feet long and has its lift run along the resort's Chair 1 before traveling down the mountain through the woods just south of the lift. This ride features turns through the woods, a helix or two over the ski slope, and some more shallow turns and straight track before the end of the ride. The ride is one of many built by the company around the US and the world. Many ski resorts and tourist traps have built these rides to entertain guests by providing either extra experiences and variety for visitors, or torment the visitors of Pigeon Forge and Branson. For ski resorts at least, this can especially be helpful in gaining additional revenue, especially during a time of the year when skiing money is not as plentiful. This ride uses a multi-part cable lift to take riders to the top of the hill as it hugs the ground, with an additional operator at the top to make sure riders are spaced apart and all right, since this ride lacks a traditional block system, meaning collisions are possible on this ride in normal operation, though they are not major enough to injure or kill riders. But still, measures are in place to prevent them, such as lights which can warn riders to slow or stop, and help them keep distance with their manually operated brakes. Or the operators can just space out dispatches, especially with the fact that no risk of valleying exists on these coasters. This unconventional operational setup makes this ride quite different than traditional roller coasters, to the point where many don't even fully consider this a proper coaster, though I and many others do, thus partly why this video is being made. The relatively small single-person cars also have some interesting traits too, such as having tilted road wheels which provide some lateral support with a set of additional side direction wheels under the chassis to reinforce it, as well as a set of upstop pads on the very bottom of the car below the side friction wheels. These, of course, keep the car on the track in the very rare moments of airtime you experience on these rides. There are also a set of special brakes on the car which the user can engage by pulling back on the handle or push it to release them. This mechanism toggles a braking pad which gets pushed onto a part of the rail below the car, allowing riders to manually slow it down, of course. Or you can just try and send it as much as you can, like I did. For the actual ride experience, you start off with the operator pushing you out of the station, where you make a left turn onto the lift, which takes you up the slope until you hit the top. At this point, you'll pass an operator booth with a lift person who gives you all clear before you enter the layout. If you didn't hit the brakes the whole time, the first turns can act as some thrilling lateral elements with some sudden downward speed and good laterals with your seatbelt restraint. The best part of the ride is this double down, which if you take with speed, you get some really good floater airtime, though they're brief pops. It's really fun, and it's right after those speedy lateral turns. After that, you enter a broad helix over the slope. The rest of the ride features more helixes over the slopes and some jolts below the ground with that notorious vegan profiling. You finish it off with some slow turns back and forth, then pass under a sign warning you to brake, and then you just make a left turn into the unload area and the approximation of a brake run. You're then taken to this conveyor belt unload platform where you unbuckle your seatbelt, get out, and either get back in line or walk back to the tent or whatever. Overall, this is a good ride and a fun upcharge experience which can enhance your ski trip and provide some good laterals, small drops, and brief pops of floater airtime. It's not much compared to a B&M Hyper or RMC Raptor, but it certainly is nice for what it is, and it's something I do enjoy. It seems that even the smaller or more basic rides out there can still have a lot to enjoy and experience out of them, which is always something that's great, especially for the credit who need the next kiddie coaster fix. I rode this right after a long day of skiing, with my legs being a bit numb from the experience. My hamstrings were not sore yet, but I did feel a little off from it. There were two people working the ride, one at the top of the lift in the booth, and another who's the operator checking the restraints or seatbelts and sending out cards. I ultimately got 2 rides on this coaster. I bought a ticket for 3, but the line was far too long and the capacity was low with only one operator working the station, so I decided to walk away and go right home. If you are at the resort or in the area, feel free to check this thing out for at least one ride. I recommend buying the 3 ride ticket for the fest value, though I don't think you will need much more than 3 rides to fully enjoy this, especially since this is kind of a basic ride. For my final score, I will give it a C+ rating. That does sound low, even though I found nothing really to complain about. It was perfectly smooth, very fun, had good pacing, and overall was pleasant. But compared to many other rides out there, a lot of them outclass this and outrank this. This grade might seem bad, but I really do enjoy this ride, and I did have a fun time on this. For the aggression rating, I'd give it a green circle, as though I speak of this ride as having good forces, that's only if you push forward and keep the brakes off the track. On a more typical ride, you'd be experience way less laterals and it would be way more calm. And with the brakes active, you can bring your kids on here with little issue, and you can experience a mild ride if you want to, thus the rating. That's gonna be all for the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've literally just ridden this coaster, so I feel like my perception of this ride is pretty clear and concise as well as accurate. If you like this video, be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment. I reply to as many as I can. And be sure to subscribe as well and check out the rest of the content on this channel. I'm sure there's something you can like out there. I have a lot of awesome content and series of videos which you guys can check out, and even some stuff in the pipeline I think you guys are really gonna like, so stay tuned. So feel free to look at that. But anyways, I don't really have much else to say, so that's gonna be all for now. Peace out.